Well, welcome back, everyone. Now, if you've been by the Peter White Public Library in Marquette recently, you might have noticed they've got a pretty big trailer in the parking lot. That's the StoryCorps. It's an NPR project traveling around the country recording people's stories. Joining us this morning, we have Leigh Barry to tell us more about it. Good morning, Leigh.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. So, StoryCorps, what is it all about?
It's a national nonprofit oral history project, and they've been around for 10 years. Their purpose is to just gather stories, our stories, the stories of Americans, and they have permanent booths in some larger cities in Atlanta, Chicago, New York, and in California. I think they have one in San Francisco. But they also have this mobile booth, which is an Airstream trailer that's tricked out as a mobile studio, and they travel to different locations. And they, about 6 months ago, contacted us at WNMU FM Public Radio 90 and asked if we would like to host them.
See, now this is interesting. You said they've been around for 10 years. This is the first time I've heard about it, though.
Well, you know, they're gathering these stories, and they do play on NPR, on Morning Edition. They're not a part of NPR. They're an independent group, and they just use NPR as, you know, sort of their conduit to the public. They also produce animated shorts. They have little pieces that they produce, and they have a number of initiatives. They've one of the initiatives they have is to gather a story for every person who was killed in the 9/11 attacks. So that's something that, you know, they take very seriously. But when they come to a community like Marquette, what they're looking to do is just hear us, hear our stories. The cadence of our speech in itself is a story. So anything that someone would like to talk about, they would like to record and preserve.
Okay, so talk me through this, so to speak. You know, a lot of folks are like, well, you know, how long does it take? What happens when we walk into the mystery trailer?
You do need to make an appointment.
Okay.
And once you show up for your appointment, you fill out just a little bit of paperwork, just basic information, name, address, how you heard about StoryCorps, a little bit about yourself. Then you go into the studio, and the nice thing is you turn off your phone. It's just you and another person. It works best as a conversation. And there is a facilitator there. If you get stuck, she can kind of prompt, or if there's some more information she needs, she can get that. But it's just a nice time to sit back and have 40 minutes of uninterrupted talk time, and nobody does that anymore.
Right.
Yeah, and then at the end, you are handed a CD of that conversation and free to make as many copies as you like. The CDs, if you sign a release, then a couple of things happen. First, they can be considered for broadcast on air, and they take that 40-minute interview and edit it down to about 2.5 minutes of actual time. And then each and every interview is housed in the Library of Congress American Folklife Collection. So these stories are also going to be there collected and archived. So someday my great-great-grandchildren can go and hear my voice and hear what I sounded like, what I had to say, hear my laugh.
That is really sharp. So it sounds cool. How can people get involved with it? I mean, how do they make that appointment, and how long will it be here?
They'll be here through August 1st. There are just maybe 2 dozen appointments left. You can make an appointment by calling 800, I'm going to read my number, 800-850-4406, or online at storycorps.org. You can also call the public radio station, Public Radio 90, at 227-2600 for more information.
Leigh, I want to thank you so much for coming in, telling us about StoryCorps. You've got the opportunity to be a part of history, and that is thanks to StoryCorps.
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you. Well, I'll tell you what, and some people's story just doesn't start, their day doesn't begin until they've hit the gym. And I'll tell you what, for those who have been to the Y in Negaunee, brand new facilities right in downtown, and it's looking good. Ashley Kirkland will be joining us live from there in just a moment.